All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to explore a really fascinating way of thinking about knowledge itself, how we know what we know, and how we might get our hands on a more complete, more reliable, and honestly, more fulfilling kind of knowledge. And it all kicks off with a question that you've probably asked yourself a time or two.
It's a huge question, isn't it? I mean, we learn things all the time, we study, we experience the world, but how can you be sure that what you know is actually solid? Is it the whole picture? Can you really depend on it? Well, the framework we're digging into today suggests there is a path to something it calls faultless knowledge.
So, what exactly is this faultless knowledge? It's definitely not just about getting the right answer on a test. No, it's way deeper than that. Think about it. Knowledge that doesn't change on you, that's systematic, completely reliable, and on top of all that, it's the whole picture, and it even makes you feel, well, fulfilled. That's a pretty tall order, right? So, where do we even begin? Okay, so according to this idea, we humans basically have two main ways of figuring things out. You can almost picture them as two separate roads we can walk down, and each road has its own special toolkit, its own unique way of looking at the world. On one side, you've got the objective path. This is the world of science, right? It's all about using external tools, microscopes, telescopes, careful experiments, to measure and verify the world out there. Then, on the other side, you have the subjective path. This is your personal, inside-your-head experience. It's that feeling you get watching a beautiful sunset. You can't measure it with a ruler. It's all based on your senses, your thoughts, your feelings. So let's break these two down a bit more. All right, so first up is the objective path. You could call this the world of boundaries. And honestly, this is the approach that has pretty much built the modern world we all live in. It's the path of science and hard evidence. And for good reason. The real power of the objective scientific method is just how dependable it is. It's systematic. Its findings can be tested and verified by anyone, anywhere. That's why science is so big on objective knowledge. It's trying to find a truth that doesn't care about your personal feelings or my opinion. But, and this is a big but, it's got one crucial limitation. So here's the catch. The objective path is absolutely fantastic for measuring specific individual things, what our source calls the finest relative. Here's an analogy. Science can tell you everything there is to know about a single wave in the ocean. It can measure its exact height, its speed, its temperature, no problem. But what it really struggles to measure is the entire ocean that the wave came from, that vast, unbounded reality the source calls the absolute. Because science is always focused on the parts, the knowledge it gives us, while super reliable, is always going to be, well, incomplete. Okay, so let's hop over to that other path now, the subjective path. This is all about the world of experience. This is the stuff we know just from, being alive. It's what we get from our own direct perception of the world. This one should feel totally familiar to you. You see something and bam, you perceive it. You think about a problem and you have that aha moment, an intellectual conclusion. You compare this meal to the one you had last week. This is just how we navigate our daily lives. But, and you knew there was a but coming, this path has a huge problem of its own. And this quote just nails the issue perfectly. The knower, that's you, that's me, is always changing. Think about it. Your mood, how much sleep you got, your personal biases, it's all shifting from one moment to the next. The source uses a great analogy for this. Trying to get reliable knowledge this way is like trying to measure a house accurately while the foundation is constantly shifting and wobbling. Your measurement is never going to be stable. So this brings us to the central dilemma, doesn't it? The objective path gives us knowledge that's reliable, but it's incomplete. The subjective path gives us a complete experience, but it's totally variable and unreliable. It feels like we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. So, is there a way out of this? Well, this is where the framework we're exploring, which comes from a field called the Science of Creative Intelligence, or SCI, proposes a breakthrough. It suggests the solution isn't to choose a path, but to perfect the person doing the knowing. The answer, it claims, lies in our own consciousness. And this solution is centered on a single key concept, a seventh state of consciousness. So, what on earth is that? This seventh state is described as a completely normal state of consciousness, but one that we have to actively cultivate. And check out those key words, non-changing and steadfast. This directly solves that shifting foundation problem we were just talking about. The idea is that if the knower's own consciousness becomes a stable, solid platform, then their subjective knowledge can finally become reliable. Okay, so how do you actually get there? The process laid out by SCI involves a few key steps. It starts with regular practice, things like meditation, designed to release all that accumulated stress and strain from the nervous system. The theory is that by clearing away all that mental noise, the naturally stable and unbounded nature of our consciousness is just allowed to bubble up on its own. Now, this is so important to understand. This approach isn't about ditching science or reason, not at all. It's about creating a synthesis, a really powerful combination of both paths to knowledge. The whole idea is to make our knowledge doubly reliable. You use the objective, scientific methods to understand the external world of boundaries. And by cultivating a stable state of consciousness, you create a reliable internal instrument to experience the world directly. You literally get the best of both worlds. This table really brings it all together. Let's just walk through it real quick. So, first row, focus. The objective path is on the boundaries, the parts. The subjective path is on the changing inner self. But the unified knowledge from SCI aims to grasp both, the unbounded and the boundaries. Now look at reliability. We go from reliable but incomplete on one side and unreliable on the other to the goal of being doubly reliable and complete. Finally, the outcome. Instead of just getting specific facts or having inconsistent experiences, the unified path aims for genuine fulfillment and truly effective action in the world. So the whole foundation of this framework, the most crucial point, boils down to this single statement. If the quality of our knowledge is literally built on the state of our consciousness, then it stands to reason that developing our consciousness becomes the most direct way to gain better, more complete knowledge. And that leaves us with a pretty powerful final thought to chew on. If this idea is true, it reframes everything. It suggests that the ultimate tool for understanding the universe isn't a telescope or a microscope, but the refined instrument of our own awareness. It asks us to think not just about what we can know, but what our consciousness is actually capable of becoming. A fascinating idea to ponder. Thanks for joining us.